Morning.
Morning.
I'm so ready for summer. I've actually put on my island wear. I want to fish and I want to go and lie on the beach, but
I'll keep you down today.
I'm sick as a dog. Since coming back from South Africa, I've had one after the other type of flu. I've been to the doctor. They gave me some antibiotics and other stuff, and I've been drinking pills. I've been going to the chemist nearly daily for cough mixture and stuff, but it just doesn't get end. There's no end to the South African flu or whatever you want to call it that I brought with from our last visit. So yeah, so bear with me if I started coughing this morning. It's normally not a nice story, but we'll try our best. This morning's topic is a bit of a darker one. What if something happens? And that doesn't mean what if something happens and I win the lotto.
Yeah.
That means what if my deck of cards get pulled from under me? What if the card house falls down?
Yeah.
And this year alone, we've had a few incidents. We had a very good friend who died at a very, very early age, at 60. Last Friday, somebody had a massive stroke.
And he's young.
And he's very young.
In his 40s.
Yeah, he's young. And these type of things that's in the back of your mind. You never talk about it because it's like the forbidden subject.
Yeah, you dare not talk about it.
Dare not talk about it.
If you say it, it will happen.
It will happen. So
yeah.
But sometimes it's needed to talk about that. And I sometimes go around and I talk to my customers about this, or my clients that take out life insurance with me. So let's just say good morning to everybody. Morning, Dani, on the other side as well.
And especially if you come from another country and you are in New Zealand.
And normally if your card house falls down here,
then
it's a big bang.
Yeah. And if it happens soon after you arrive, then you probably don't have any support system yet. So it is stuff that we have to think about. And I think for us, I think it's important for the men as well, but for us as women, what happens if something happens to your husband?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I haven't seen her until she walked into this area this morning. So yeah, baie mooi hoor. Okay. Right. So let me just get that off my chest.
So what if something happens to your husband and do you know where to look for stuff? Do you know what to do, who to contact, all that kind of stuff? So I think the one thing that we have to touch this morning is what we've learned when our friend passed away.
Actually, I want to say something about his wife.
Yes.
I was the broker right from the startup. Just after I arrived in New Zealand, they contacted me and we got a lot of stuff in place. We didn't get enough stuff in place. Nobody's ever got enough. No, sorry about that. Nobody's ever got enough insurance. I promise you, not even me. But we got some stuff in place, and his wife was very clued up. I think more she was the person who knew where everything was than what he was the person. So he would just say, "No, talk to the wife."
She was kind of, and there are many women in South Africa that I realize they're the ones that's
and it's the other way around as well.
Yeah.
The wives know a lot of stuff that the husband doesn't. He's just too busy working, or sometimes the wife just doesn't care. And the husband knows where everything is, and suddenly this critical person who knows where all the stuff is, he passes away, or he becomes so badly injured or sick that he can't talk or show them what is. And then they get this thing that they call me and say, I don't even know what we have.
Yeah. And the other thing,
that's sad.
What I want to say is I think it's very important for you to have like a file, electronic or a real file that you put somewhere with all the passwords of bank accounts and know what kind of policies you have.
Yeah. What I say to my clients is to take a A4 file. It's one of those files. I'm an old school guy. I like to touch stuff. So for me, it's quite important that file is somewhere where somebody can just walk in and take that. So have it somewhere where people will know that you keep stuff. Have in just a bank statement. Even if you close the bank one day and you forget about that, it's not going to be a train smash. But at least you had that one bank statement in. So somebody takes the file, they see, oh, you had a Westpac account. They can go to Westpac and say, is this still active? And the bank can just say yeah or nay. It's easy as that. So all the other stuff, municipality or council things, your will must be in there, your insurance policies, even if they get updated during
Doesn't
the
matter as
time.
long
And
as you've got
as long as you've
some
got the
idea.
policy number, that's the big
Yeah.
thing. One thing that happens a lot here, and I walked into this situation the other day. Somebody bought something online or insurance policy online. Point one, they didn't even understand what they were buying. The cover was inadequate, and it was totally the wrong product for them. I'm not shooting online policies down now. I'm just saying a lot of people don't understand what they have.
Mm.
And once they showed me this, I could explain to them exactly what they've bought, and I could see the surprise in their eyes. And I knew they knew that I knew it was totally the wrong product for them. But we replaced it with something better and actually cheaper at the end of the day.
Okay,
So,
but this is now about what do you do when
No,
something
it-
happens?
the problem was, luckily the wife had an envelope with this policy in that came about a week prior.
Oh, okay.
The husband didn't have the faintest idea what they had.
Okay,
He just
then
said, no, they took out something. So
something else that I realized, and we don't think about this, is when my friend's husband passed away, his cell phone was fingerprint
locked.
locked. So she wanted to transfer some money on his phone and she couldn't get into his phone. So that is something that we don't think about. For me, that was kind of a, oh my word, do you have a fingerprint thing? Or
I will not tell you.
You better tell me.
You're probably going to ask the doctor after that, can I just get his thumb? I love his thumb.
Yeah, we were making jokes about it, but really, it is something really important. What do you do if you can't get into his cell phone to transfer some money? If you don't, because she didn't know what his bank account.
Yeah, it was a big story just to get
was.
enough money for her. There was enough money. Let's be quite frank. There was more than enough money.
Just to
but it wasn't
access
his
it.
account.
Yes.
It was quite an experience. I'm not going to explain to you what we guys did, but it was an experience to get the money from his account to her account.
Yeah.
And
then another thing is he still has bank accounts in South Africa.
Yeah.
So to get to that money is,
Luckily, she could withdraw the money in South Africa, but I just told her, just let the bank account go. No, because I can't even get, I'm alive, I can't even get my overdraft stopped in South Africa.
So it is something that you have to think about. If you don't need the money in South Africa, I think just transfer it to New Zealand.
And geez, with anything, the day I had my heart operation and I had to claim for my own heart, the first thing I thought was, geez, you're an insurance advisor and you only have this amount of cover. And
yeah, we were gutted that it was all.
Yeah, I mean, I could have had 10 times more, but you will never have enough cover. So don't worry about having too much cover. You will never have enough cover. So
yeah.
And I've never had anybody at claim stage say to me, oh no, that's way too much for us. We don't want that. So
okay.
Yeah.
So then another thing is, if you have children and something happens, do you have someone that can just look after your kids while you maybe have to go to the hospital to sit with your husband or with your wife or whatever? Make sure that you've got someone that you can trust to just look after your kids. I know if you're new in the country, it's going to be very difficult. But I mean, the guy that had the stroke last week is only in his 40s.
Yeah.
They only had the policy for a year.
Yeah.
So it is something can happen so quickly, and we don't think about this stuff. It's the same with your will. Make sure that you have got guardians on your will that can take your kids if something happens to you.
And if at current stage you are unsure who to talk to, just talk to anybody.
Yes.
Get somebody that you gel a bit with and say to them, even if they've got kids and you've got kids, let's say, I will take yours, you take mine.
Yeah. You can
just
always
for the period
change
of the
it
time.
later.
You can change it later.
We get a lot of people that they meet someone and they ask them to be the children's guardians, and then after a year they say, can I just change something on my will?
Back to that point is, when we do insurance policies, we do wills for our clients as well. That is so important that you do have a will, because you need to have all your affairs in or your ducks in a row, let me get that rather. And in this will, it states there who's going to be the temporary guardian and who's going to be the guardian. And I always say to my clients, I say to them, make sure those people know We're going to get the kids.
Yeah,
It's going to be
yeah.
a bad discussion if somebody
Yeah.
arrives with the kids and says,
I
they're
think
yours now.
the temporary guardian is also very
It's
important.
very, very important.
Maybe
Yeah.
you have, maybe you need you asked your mom and your dad in South Africa or your brother or sister, whatever, to be your kids' guardians. But if something happens to you now in New Zealand, you have to have a temporary guardian that can just look after the kids until your family can come and get them. Or can,
Stop coughing as well.
Oh,
I think you're making me sick.
So that is something that very important that you have to think about. It's just someone to look after your kids.
And there's so many, we can go on for hours on this topic, but I don't want to get too dark today. So a few things you should also have in that file is stuff like, if you've got, how can I say, if you've got stuff in the bank vault somewhere, have it in there. If you've got your Kiwi savers, put it in that file. Your like other investments of stuff. I've got a few different investments. I don't think she even knows about all the investments that I do have. So,
you see?
And my file is not 100% on date. So perhaps you'll have to sort me out there.
Yeah. I think it's maybe a good idea if you just contact any broker if something happens, because I think you can. Yeah. Are you allowed to look into people's stuff even if it's not?
No, if the person that's got the stuff is lying on his deathbed or can't speak to you, I need a form to be signed. So it's quite difficult. That's why I say have a broker, know who the broker is.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't seen me in 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years, whatever, the day you call, you are my priority number one.
Yeah.
That's the way that I work with claims. Is if we can claim, I love to claim because I know that is the end of a contract, and I like the company that we have the policy with to give us money.
Yeah.
I don't get any of the money, but I see the difference it makes to clients' lives. It's a massive difference.
It is important to have someone that will fight for you when you need it. Benita is asking, just go up, there was a question there. Will you send your kids back to South Africa if something happens to you? It's always been a concern of mine.
I get it a lot that people say that kids are going back, and I fully understand where this comes from because they don't have family here, and it's probably the better thing to have the kid go back.
For the kids' emotional well-being.
But then there's
also people that say, I came to New Zealand for my kids, I'm not sending them back to South Africa. I don't want them to grow up there. So then you have to have someone here that you can fully trust. You can always have your parents or whoever in South Africa to be kind of a trustee or someone that can just oversee what's happening to the money that you left your kids, but to have someone in New Zealand that can look after them and that will love them the way that you would.
Yeah, it's a difficult. It's a terrible, difficult topic to think. The day that I die, my young kids, I got to give to somebody else, and I got to trust that person 100% to do the right thing for the next 10 or 15 years of that kid's life.
It's
very, very difficult. But it can go wrong with family as well.
Yeah. You know what? I just want to tell a story quickly, can I?
Oh yeah.
I have a friend here in New Zealand. She has got twin boys. I think they're now 7 or something, but when they were still a little bit smaller, she has family here. Her, I think her brother or someone is in Auckland, but they are non-believers, and she is a believer. And then when she had to look after someone to look after the kids, obviously she wants a family to take care of the kids, and she was very concerned about her kids going to live with someone that doesn't believe in God. So she just said to her sister-in-law, I want my kids to stay with you, but promise me that you will allow them to still be Christians. It was a hard topic.
But luckily, she's still alive. So.
She's still alive. The kids are growing up, but her sister-in-law promised that she will not deny them their religion. So that was quite a difficult one.
Saying, but my kids are New Zealanders and don't know their family well. They will never survive in South Africa.
That's the thing.
That's a hard fact. It's a very, very hard fact. You take kids from this secure and pristine environment, you chuck them back into Africa, and I don't know how good they will cope there. But
that is a very interesting question. Can the appointed guardian come to New Zealand and live with the surviving children?
Okay, we're not allowed to give immigration advice. I'm going to put that out there. I have heard that something like that has happened in the past, where they have allowed the sister of people to come over to support the kids because she could, in her own right, apply for a visa.
Yeah, so
but
I don't
Vanita's on
know.
the other side. Help me
Maybe
out if I'm
Vanita can
wrong
shed
down
some
there.
light
So
on that.
yeah,
Yes, so it is a very difficult discussion to have, but I think it's one that you have to have.
and you know what doesn't happen a lot? Husband and a wife doesn't. Vanita say no. New Zealand doesn't allow this. They look at family ties.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right. Husband and wife doesn't go and sit and have this discussion with each other.
No.
This is that's part of the problem.
I can speak from experience.
Of course, we don't do.
No, because I think, I know, maybe it's superstitious, I don't know, but I just feel that once we have this discussion, it just feels like, why are we doing this now? Is something going to happen?
No. I always want to know, will the new guy drive my car?
No, he won't. I'll sell it. Don't worry.
Good,
and the boat.
good.
It will go immediately.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And the caravan?
I'll sell it.
Okay, that's good as well.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so that problem is sorted. So.
So this is it's a real important discussion.
Yeah.
We have an online file that's just
that's out there, and we put all our passwords in there, and we put all our. This is a lot of what we have in there.
Yeah, you keep it updated, do you?
I try to keep it updated. I think there's just two things out. Thinking back this morning, there's two things that's not in there yet. So plus I'm going to take out new life insurance for myself as well.
And the thing is, I just feel if something happens to your husband, you're not going to be able to think clearly. So I'll probably not even be able to think, oh my word, what's the password to get into this?
That's why I say have a hard copy somewhere.
Yes.
We can just take this hard copy and say, sort it out.
I mean, if someone asks me what the gate code is, I sometimes can't remember. You can never remember.
That's
so imagine now you're not thinking straight, and someone asks you what's the password on something.
And being in that emotional state where your husband has died, goodness me, it's hectic. It's really, really hectic. I've seen it quite a few times with clients, and not only just death, somebody being diagnosed with cancer. It is overwhelming for them, for the family. They're all stunned, if you want to call it. Everybody thinks, why is it happening to me? And they don't function at that stage. So they need something concrete, or somebody concrete like me, where they can just pick up the phone and say, Jan, this has happened, sort it out.
You know what I think was a real good thing that our friend did? Just to make life easier for herself. She just said, Jan,
she really said
I'm handing all of this over to you. I don't want to deal with the funeral. I don't want to deal with. She only dealt with the.
She just dealt with the.
With our reverend and the reverend. That's the only people that she did. She didn't deal with the police. She didn't deal with anything else. She just said, "I'm handing it over to you." Once you get a little bit better, you feel a little bit more. Yourself, then you can always take some of this over. But I think it's a really
at this stage now. If I only get anything back from the police were involved not because it was a crime, but it was because the guy died of natural causes. But because the doctor wasn't willing at that specific stage to give a full description on the death certificate. So the police had to get involved to tie the two doctors that was over him.
I must say that whole experience really made me feel so at ease. Everything works so smoothly. There was not one hiccup. If you just have someone that knows who to contact, I mean, and I feel this is where the Reverend was
as well.
Wonderful.
I just wanted to say that.
She just said, okay, this is what happened. He died. What now? And he made contact with every single person that needed to be
to do the whole funeral
in
thing.
this. So you don't need to worry about a thing. And
I still had to go and see the police at the place where the body was kept. And I had to...
But so I don't think you have to worry about how the system works. It works really well. You just need to have someone to kind of just deal with that.
The one thing I want to say as well and I'm not going to name the group that did the burial,
Amazing.
but the way they handled me, her, the body, it was just next level. I've dealt with this a lot in South Africa, and I've only dealt with this about twice now in New Zealand. But I've never seen this level of professionalism from anybody.
And we dealt with this company a few months back.
Yep. That's why I'm saying dealt with this stuff.
So it is absolutely amazing.
They were just up there, and the things just happened. There's
really nothing that you have to worry about. This is a real sad topic that we're talking about.
But at the end of the day, important. You need to talk about this. You need to get this under the belt, and
it's really important.
And the other thing is, guys, it costs a lot to die in New Zealand.
It is a lot of money. Hey, what did that funeral
just
cost?
Over $15,000, and it wasn't a burial; it was a cremation. But there was a lot of extras on that as well.
Okay.
The last time I spoke to a funeral company was about 2 years ago. They could do a cremation only, for about $4,500.
Okay, but then it's not this.
There's no servers, there's no pastor, there's no broodjies, there's nothing. There's no songs. It is take the
But
body.
I think there's a part on your life.
They pay out $15,000 up front.
Do you get it quickly?
Within 48 hours. That's why if anything happens, call me, because I know how to deal with that type of thing. You understand? So.
Because that's money that you kind of have to pay up front, I suppose. You don't.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You pay it.
Or they want most of the money, or at least a good guarantee that it is going to happen. So. The thing is with insurance, all the insurance we sell, all of the insurance I sell, they've got an upfront portion of $15,000. They do pay out within 48 hours, but there are certain rules and regulations to get this money out.
You probably have to have a death
certificate, a bank account, blah blah blah, all this, and next of kin. They pay the money out to whoever's going to get this person buried, so not to me. So, and I get on the phone and I call the right people and I get the stuff done and I get it.
So I think it's really important for you to just have a broker. I don't know, how does it work if your policy is with your bank? Do you just go to the bank then, probably?
The problem there is you can either go to the bank and try and speak to somebody who is not a broker, because that's normally the time. The banks don't have, or most of the banks don't have dedicated brokers. You walk into somebody that sells mortgages and they sell you life insurance as well. It's just part of what they do. So the problem for them now to fall around, you still got to go back to that company, because it's normally not a bank itself. The bank will use a different company as well. So you got to pick up the phone and speak to call center, someone, explain who you are, what, and so forth. So
that is something to think about.
It is. It is. So
because you kind of need that money really quick.
You really need the money quick. I mean, except if you got a heck of a lot of savings. But I want to say something. 90% of the South Africans I see in New Zealand for the first year at least is just overbroke. They are.
You
and these guys fuss bait, really.
Yes.
They go for it, and I love them for that. And they eventually they once they are up and running, they do really well. But it's just that first period of time that they just the adaptation. I mean, if you bring your money from South Africa, you divide it by 10, it's worthless this side. So you don't have that extra reserves to put it out there. But then you can fall back on.
It is something that you have to think about. And I mean, you must just remember, if you are, it's another thing that's a really, I don't even want to think about it. If you are renting a house, or even if you are a mortgage buyer, if something happens to the breadwinner, your house still needs to be paid.
Still needs to be paid.
There's a lot of stuff that still needs to be paid. So
if you buy a car on HPI purchase,
I don't even
still
want to
need
think
to be
about
paid.
this
Your council fees, your water, your lights still need to be paid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's 1.1. Let's say your partner died. It's 0.1. Very important to get the money out as soon as possible to get them buried.
Yes.
Then thereafter, you need to get the rest of the money out as soon as possible to keep on living.
Yeah.
That's very, very important.
So how does this thing, I know that they sometimes freeze your bank account. How does that work?
That's why most people has got a joint bank account. But as soon as the bank is informed that you as the person is not there anymore, they have to freeze the bank account.
Who informs the bank? You.
You could inform the
Okay,
bank.
so you have time to kind of just get all the money out before you inform.
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
I'm sorry.
No, you could do that if you are so inclined. But call me, we can discuss it off air.
Sorry.
No, it does happen. I mean, but the other problem is if there's no money in there.
What do you do?
End of the month is coming.
Yeah.
What then?
He's not going to get his salary at the end of the month.
Yeah, he's going to get a portion of the salary because whatever he's still
This is a
for.
real hot topic, and I think it's something that you really have to go sit down and discuss.
Let's talk about nice topics.
Okay, what else?
I want to say something, and I don't know if you picked up on this yet, but we are giving away $1,000.
I don't know about it.
Okay, you don't know about it.
We don't discuss stuff.
Yeah, I was actually going to tell you everything this morning, but it turned out a bit late. We started running an ad about a week or so ago, so there's a few people who's already qualified for the first draw. But we'll do the draw next week on the same channel. We'll do it live. We are going to draw people, either clients of us, so clients are automatically in how can I say, into the game. And then everybody who like and share our page. So if you've got privacy settings on your own Facebook page, I cannot see who shared my page and who liked the page. That's a problem. We've got about 25 people we have identified lying on my emails. So Caroline from South Africa is doing that for me.
Okay.
So she's running that site, and we are going to give $1,000 away on the 15th of December.
Oh, wow. Okay. What a Christmas gift.
So that's what I thought. I actually thought I should call it doing the Christmas enhancer or the holiday enhancer, because you can do a lot with $1,000.
Yes, it's a lot of
money. Yeah, it can change somebody's life. So I'm sorry I don't have $1,000 for each of you. I'm not Oprah Winfrey.
Be like Oprah.
There's $1,000. There's $1,000. Yeah. She only gives to a few people, I think. Yeah. So, but we are going to give $1,000 away. We decided not to buy a television and give that away or something else. We thought money this time will really do or help somebody along the line. So, one last, let's take a question or two, don't you?
Vanita's saying, I'm already planning on emptying the bank accounts. I'm just thinking of myself.
Luckily, she's got the cards as well. I don't think it's a good idea that she has all my cards and the PIN numbers, but yeah.
I'll have to write the PIN numbers at the back of the cards because I won't be able to remember.
Oh my goodness, don't never do that. Someone's just asking, how do insurance premiums compare between South Africa and New Zealand? On average, it's cheaper down here than in South Africa. We have a few less problems to compare with or to keep in mind when we do the underwriting. So, yeah. But if you need a quote, send me your South African stuff. I can give you whatever you've got in similar to the New Zealand. So,
there was something else that I wanted to say. I know that you must just remember that your will in South Africa does not work in New Zealand. You have to have a will in New Zealand
as well.
Mm. So just remember that having a will in South Africa does not cover you in New Zealand.
I want to put something out there. I know there's a company that gives what they call international wills. Guys, that's the worst idea you can ever think of, because and this is a company in South Africa, and this means everything has to go back to South Africa at the end of the day to be done that side, and it can take forever. That is one thing. What always made me angry about wills is the amount of time that they took. I think this is our friend who we helped. So
we love you. That's why.
That's all. There's no other issues there.
There was now something else that I thought about, but I can't remember, and I think the time is running out.
Time is running out. Time has caught us up.
What was it?
We can do that another time.
Yeah, it was something quite important.
Except the $1,000 giveaway. More important than that.
Yeah. Can't remember now. I'll think about it.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see you
next week. We'll do something fun.
Yeah, more fun than having an island shirt on.
But go sit down this weekend.
Have this
discussion. Something happens like that. You don't.
And there's some of my clients that haven't completed their wills yet. Guys,
just
please,
do it.
Please. I'm not going to be the school teacher who calls you every day for that. Please do it. All right, that's us. Love and leave you, and see you next time. Same time, same place. And
have a good day.
Yeah, enjoy.
Bye.